was demoted upon retirement because he had not completed the required coursework. And Walls is also accused of abandoning his platoon, quitting before that deployment to Iraq, despite his prior claims. Walls never served in a war or combat zone. Earlier tonight, a guest on the Ingram Engel show, Laura, had this to say about Walls' time in the Guard. Watch this.
Yeah, he was in for 24 years, and he quit. Well, okay, so that's what you did. But don't try to make it look like you were a command sergeant major. Don't try to make it look like you were going to some place that was in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. I mean, granted, that's just all embellishment and lies to try to make things look better.
We've also uncovered a 2005 press release from Walls' congressional campaign, which he is quoted as saying, "As a command sergeant major, I have a responsibility not only to ready my battalion for Iraq, but also to serve if I am called. I am dedicated to serving my country to the best of my ability, whether that is in Washington, D.C. or in Iraq." And again, to reiterate, he instead chose to retire, got demoted from that rank as a result, never deployed. A statement from the Harris campaign also confirms that after 24 years of military service, Walls retired in 2005 and says he will continue to be a champion for veterans should he become vice president. All right, here with the full report analysis, John Solomon, justthenews.com. And by the way, Minnesota National Guard veteran himself, our friend, our colleague, Fox and Friends weekend co-host, Pete Hegseth. John, let's start with the news with you. What do we know? Because didn't he also say that 18 to 24 oh, that was Kamala, who said that they were stupid?
Yeah.
And didn't he also say that 19-year-olds in the Guard are basically cooks? And didn't he once say that, oh, that's right, these are the weapons that I used when I was in war? Did he say that too?
He did. Listen, he's sometimes a comedian, but in this case, he's a charlatan. His own official biography on the state of Minnesota government website, the governor's website, falsely claimed that he retired as a command sergeant, and he was not. He retired as a master sergeant, not as a command sergeant major. That's a really big difference. The reason he retired at the lower rank is he was demoted because he didn't complete his required training and other obligations when he left the military before being deployed to Iraq, and instead he ran for Congress. If you can't get your basic record right in the military, not only are you disserving the American people, you're dishonoring veterans who had that rank or who did stay in, who did go into combat. I think it's going to become an issue that won't go away. By the way, you were talking about the media. The Hill tonight is still reporting the old story. It's still reporting, other newspapers still reporting he retired as a command sergeant major. He did not. And I think that that's important. It's on the record from the National Guard. It isn't that hard for journalism to get it right.
Yeah. Pete, is this a case of stolen valor as, well, people he served with now claim? And did he also lie about being the head coach?
He did. He was an assistant coach. He was a linebackers coach, a defensive coach. That's great. That's important, but not the head coach. John Solomon is completely correct.
Looks like he's a real liar.
This is a case of stolen valor.
Fits in well with the
I don't
rest.
say that lightly. This is a guy who ran for Congress in 2006 while his men were doing 22 months in Iraq. 22 months the Minnesota National Guard ended up doing in combat in Iraq. And you know what they can't do when they're deployed? They can't speak. So they couldn't contradict the claims he was making that he was the highest serving enlisted member ever to be elected to Congress. He retired when he was a command sergeant major, but he was actually just a sergeant major. And to keep that rank, you have to complete the sergeant major's academy, which he never did, which means when he quit, he gets demoted to E8 with a master sergeant. He knew that when he retired. He knew it when he claimed to be a command sergeant
Please
major.
subscribe for more.
It was all a lie, and that is absolutely stolen valor. And by the way, he likes to say he was in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. I deployed to Guantanamo Bay in 2004. We were not in combat. We were in support of what they're doing in Afghanistan because they were sending the Taliban over. I never claimed to be in combat. Yet pull the tape. Let's find him, Sean. They're all over the place. He's convoluting his words about whether he was in combat or not. This is all words, though, Sean. Okay, I got more, though. Go ahead.
All right, so, no. Okay, I would normally serve anybody. I would normally praise anybody that served in the Guard. I normally would. But he referred to guardsmen as 19-year-old cooks. And then he said, we can make sure that those weapons of war I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at. This is what he said.
We can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Okay, well,
He
was
never
ever
carried a
in
weapon in war. Never.
That's
Never.
a
He was
lie.
in Italy for 6 months. Supported. That's fine. Total lie. And he knew it at the time. The entire time. He was the command sergeant major. He's in charge of the logistics, the training, the emotional support, the preparation for every man in his battalion, a field artillery battalion, a very important role if you're headed to Iraq.
Shame on
And
all
when
your
he got
Democrats
orders
for
from
liking this
notification that his
man
men were going
and
to combat,
supporting them.
he said, I quit.
And her.
I'm out. I'm done.
And he had two-
every
wait,
guy
and he
was
had
there
2
knows
years
that's
left?
exactly what happened.
And he had 2 years left.
in his contract, but he was beyond his retirement, so he could work his way to get out of his contract, which he did. You know what the real, what the real phrase is for guys that serve with Tim Walz is? No, it's Tim A. Walz. Tim
Exit
A. Walz.
questions.
When his men needed him, he left.
Tampon
He
Tim
bailed. He
and
did not
Tampon
deploy. He did
A.
24 years in the military.
A.
Sean.
Walz.
You go with your men to combat if you care about those men. But if you don't, you care about yourself and politics, you stay home.
And you
that's
want
what
him
Tim
as your
Walz did.
vice
And that's why
president.
so many people are frustrated and angry.
Shame
about
on all
Tim
yous.
A. Walz, in my book.
Look up what he did with
It's
China.
interesting, the lie about George W. Bush ended Dan Rather's
Please
career
subscribe.
over a similar issue.